Welcome to the second annual Croquet Innovations Tournament being held in West Palm Beach, Florida at the National Croquet Center. Howard Sosin, joining the group in the white fedora, is both the innovator and sponsor of this event, having come up with various games to promote peeling in AC and change the dynamics of golf croquet. The players represent Ireland, England, New Zealand, and the U.S. And among other things, we have two former world champions, and Stephen Mulliner and Patty Chapman, and Ben Rothman, who's won everything there is to win in the U.S., as well as the British Open Championship. In two-shot golf croquet, on the first shot of any turn, and only the first shot, if a roquet is made, the striker gets a continuation shot, which can be used as a standard golf croquet shot. The start line is extended from corner 4 to the level of hoop 4 on the east boundary, and balls are marked in 1 yard. This is the two-shot golf croquet final between Pete Trimmer and Jamie Burch, and though I'm sure he'd rather be playing in the final, Stephen Mulliner has graciously agreed to do live commentary.
Right, the players are beginning the final of the two-shot golf croquet championship. Been called to order by Howard Sosin. Pete Trimmer's won the toss. He's chosen to go first. One small change, the start area or start line is 7 yards up the yard line, and in this version of golf croquet the yard line is actually in use, and the reason will become clear. That's a fairly good standard start. It's called two-shot golf croquet for a good reason. If you hit a ball onto another ball, you get an extra shot, and this has some interesting tactical consequences. First of all, you have a ball like red placed to be what could be called a stepping stone. Hit that, come off it, and you could find yourself near another ball you want to clear, or even better, in front of the hoop. Now Pete Trimmer is having a go at that, misses it, and goes out of bounds. That black will be brought back 1 yard on, because one of the ideas of the game is sometimes you want to get behind partner by coming off one ball with a sort of ricochet effect, and then you can rush partner into court, perhaps in front of a hoop. But the other great tactic you'll see is people trying to land very gently on another ball. A rest, you might call it, to use a sort of snooker or billiards term, so that if it's in front of a hoop, you can just try the hoop, having hit it. Now, this is why people tend not to leave balls directly in front of hoops if they can avoid it. Jamie goes for red, he misses as well. So at the moment you wouldn't see much difference between an ordinary game of GC and this one, and with both yellow and black not making contact with anything, Pete has a chance to make an early score, but of course he placed blue deliberately beyond the hoop to avoid being used as a rest by yellow, and so he's now not the hoop's perhaps too difficult. That's interesting. He's always taking the view that if Jamie does hit him, red will not end up in position. At the moment, the sparkling shooting of earlier rounds is noticeable by its absence, and now this gives Pete a fairly straightforward chance to try and lag black so it just contacts blue, and he should then be in a reasonable position. Well, that was intended just to hit blue and stop within 6 inches or a foot and give him a fairly straightforward first hoop, but now it's Jamie who has the opportunity to do the same. And that he manages. It the wrong side really, but certainly on previous form straight hoop, anything under 10 yards, and Jamie has been getting them with monotonous regularity. Monotonous if you're the opponent, that is. Yep. No great surprise there. So 1-0 Jamie. Now that was intended to give black a fairly easy chance of coming off blue, and hence making a Croquet, if you wish, coming up the court to where it could do something useful. And Jamie, if he'd caught that on the left-hand side, it might would have finished up somewhere quite interesting near the hoop, but it's simply glanced off it, and what he will do now is just lag it into position which is unlikely to immediately help the opponent. So what Pete now will do is try and come off yellow. It counts as a Croquet. And see where he can land this. It's, I think, too strong. But he's close to red now, so there's nothing to stop him clouting red firmly over to the boundary and remaining in distant position himself. Or maybe he fancies the hoop after all. Certainly looks like it. Well, it's a sort of semi-jaws. That is liable to be a bit of a gift for Jamie if blue can't do something about it. Oh, just that would have been a great counter. If he could just have hit red, he might well have stayed in position to get an in-off black, but now it's Jamie with the opportunity to go 2-0 up. And he jumps it. Fantastic shot. And as in ordinary GC, if black's at all hampered by that hoop, that could be worth 2 hoops rather than 1. But no, it looks as though black is far enough back he can just approach. Again, he'd be wise to leave this. Ooh, that's in a dangerous position. That could be rested on and would give either yellow or red a great chance of a 3-love lead. That's what he's playing for, just the lag. No, just missing. But equally it's there for Pete as well, so if he can run into this gently, he might be able to bring the deficit back. Yes, great shot. What a shot. What a shot. Oh dear. Well, having played an absolutely beautiful resting shot, which gave him what seemed like a dead easy hoop. Mind you, he's still in a strong position because Jamie needs to clear black and hopefully come to the south, so he might have a chance of clearing. No, misses. That's one of the tactics available in this game. If you can come off a ball and go to the non-playing side of a hoop in which a ball is jawsed, you can retain the chance to clear it out. Obviously that is impossible in ordinary GC. So this time Pete not only gets the hoop to go to bring it back to 1-2, but he also gets the chance to be the first down to 4 as well. And now what Jamie can do is try and use blue as a stepping stone to see if he can get down to here. Yep, not bad. He's certainly shortened the clearance shot he needs on black. And if everything was going very well for him, there's even the possibility of the in-off. But nope. Jamie is taking the view that the simplest way to win is to just run more hoops than the opponent. But that time, no dice. Another lag attempt, looking quite good. Oh. And this is actually a combination of a promotion of black into much better position and the possibility, anyway, of an immediate hoop for blue. Going for the hoop and 2-2. No, he was going for the jaws and 2-2 with a chance of coming off it and getting position at 5, but that's not worked out at all. Oh, just missing. Now blue may be somewhat wired from 5. And of course just hiding behind the hoop doesn't really help, because if Jamie can hit blue, he'll be able to do things to black with his second shot. So Pete might just settle for getting back to level terms, which he does. 2-2 it is. Various options. Does he want to try and come off black immediately, or just go beyond the hoop, or come off red? Well, that'll certainly straighten things up a bit, and by having made the Croquet, he's now entitled to have a second shot and a go at the hoop. Given Jamie's current approach, it wouldn't be a surprise if he goes for the hoop. Shot. 3-2 to Jamie. And Pete gestures, what can you do? Well, the answer is run a few yourself. Now here he's got to be careful, because if he puts this ball slap in front of 6, it's asking to be hit gently by yellow. So he actually goes... Is he going for the Croquet? He's got it. Oh, that's actually a fantastic reply. Don't know whether 6 is runnable from blue. Yep, looks it. Fight fire with fire. Well, that's pretty useful, given the fact that... Well, no, this is something Jamie can now come up... Well, he should go, I'd have thought, north of yellow and give himself a chance of getting yellow off red to north of blue. But if he's just thinking of hitting it, if he misses, then he's deprived himself of that opportunity. So I'd have thought, no, he's going for the Croquet. Well, this could lead to an outrageous jump, which I suppose he would regard as even better than being able to clear blue. Okay, so that gives him another option. If yellow is left undisturbed, and if black doesn't peel blue, then yellow can just hit red and then clear blue. Going for the peel. Shot it. 3-all. Great reply. And of course he has the extra shot, so I imagine he might go off the boundary, he might just go beyond 7, or what he's actually thinking of is putting a threat in by putting blacks where it can be used by blue as a stepping stone, or to use Howard Sozin's more elaborate term, a transportation ball. Now obviously yellow will play before that and can do something to destroy the tactic, but nonetheless by putting the threat in you do limit your opponent's options, and yellow certainly can't, well, yeah, that's sufficiently far west that if yellow hits it, yellow might well have a hoop, so maybe black should have been further to the east. Two balls get returned to the court, both 1 yard in, which of course makes these long hoops slightly less difficult than in regular GC because you're coming in it from 1 yard closer in. This time misses completely, which does give a bit of an advantage to his opponent. Now whether, no, obviously blue couldn't come off red and get in front, so he's just going to go and hit partner and have a go himself from the boundary. Or from the yard line, I should say. Yep, no problem with that. Well, black has now moved to where it's quite a bit off the straight. So this is Pete's chance to take the lead for the first time in the game. That obviously just missed. Now, red has to be a little careful, but this can't do any harm. Even if he misses, he'll be the wrong side of black in terms of giving black any help, but he doesn't. So Jamie's obviously having a go at the hoop from quite an angled position, but hits the left wire and bounces away, not too far away, and it's a good example of how boldness is often not too badly punished. Pete might take a risk and put blue where black can hit it gently and have the hoop. But obviously wrong way around, red's just played, so it's black to play, so he's now thinking about putting black where blue can use it. But obviously so could yellow, but yellow is much further away. That's pretty handy. Blue can flick off the right-hand side of black and get a nice straight hoop. So Jamie needs to hit this. Well, got it. Now, it looks as if black may still be in running position, certainly in resting position for red, so just clearing blue very hard indeed with the second shot might well be the most reasonable or risk-free, but I think he's going for the hoop. Well, that's a... not sure. If that can be dug out by blue, that's a pretty trivial hoop for Pete. If it can't be, yeah, that looks fairly straightforward. He can now run down to 8 and lead in this final for the first time. Oh, he's jumping. Oh, so obviously he cleared yellow into his path, and now that's a potential turnover. Red into black, have the hoop. Or maybe red into blue if he prefers it, that's straighter. No. No. Does red have a path to the hoop? It's Jamie's turn to fail a fairly straightforward attempt, and that must give black a real chance to come off the left-hand side of yellow and get in front. Or possibly just tap blue. I can't see from here whether... It looks as though he's going for blue. Yep. So... no mistake this time. 4-3, Pete Trimmer. Now that's an interesting thing. He could even... No, he's just drifting down, taking position. That looks pretty straight to me, so the risk there is that when black next plays... that is a bit of a blow for Jamie. He can always jump it, of course, but of course black can always do something about yellow as well. Unless he can hit this, it's looking quite good. It's looking very... Oh, he's hit so centrally. Well, he can always send yellow south of blue now, which is perhaps the most obvious option. Oh, is this a jump coming up? Well, good second prize, gets rid of red. Rid of blue, sorry. And but black now has the chance just to lag down to yellow. Just touch yellow and have a fairly straightforward hoop. Yes, good shot. Oh, or is that in the way as well? Quite extraordinary to have consecutive shots where the clearance has been of perfect weight, or the resting shot has been of perfect weight, but it's so central that it's stopped the able to score the hoop. So cutting it on its... Okay, that just takes it... Well, it's still leaving quite an opportunity. Come off the left-hand side of blue, and yellow might well be in good running position. Just like that. So Jamie can rediscover his hooping form. That should be 4-all. It is 4-all. But there's an interesting situation here with blue. Blue could come off black and find itself all the way in front of 9. Unfortunately, that was one of those dreadful reverse shots where you try to hit on one side and you miss on the other. But it doesn't do any immediate harm. Or to be generous, perhaps he was trying to cut black into position. But to my eye, it was a perfect in-off opportunity.
Got there before we made that hoop. Was it the last one? Oh, excellent. Yeah. The very last one.
Players having a quick discussion about whether red is offside or onside. In fact, for two reasons. First of all, it came to that position off an opponent, and secondly, Pete's already played a shot, so he can't now exercise his rights to direct an offside ball, assuming that red was actually offside. What is happening now? Is this an attempt at the hoop? Well, Jamie appears to be taking the view that all-out attack is the only thing he wants to do. Okay, it's not left him in a bad position. He can guard. He can now clear people into the far side of the court, the open court. Black is played to give blue a chance to come off it and get hoop running position, but equally yellow can use black for just the same purpose. And of course you could try and come off blue as well, but that's a more difficult shot because you have to have a very faint... He's trying it. My goodness me, well that was a very good shot. Just flicked gently off the left-hand side of blue and has got, well, a far from easy angled hoop. But no disaster because red can use yellow, but not easy for blue and black to do so. Well, again, there's a good second prize there because nothing to stop him now clearing yellow hard to the west boundary and so preventing red from doing anything with it. And black is not in a helpful position for red. So his biggest problem here is getting enough follow through on blue or hitting it at enough an angle. Yep, that'll do. That's no help to anyone. And now red has to decide where it's going to go, and the shot at the left-hand side of black cost nothing. And that's gone to a position where it helps no one, but does leave black with a plausible shot at the hoop. Then gentle lag at the hoop, but that's missing completely, unfortunately. The jaws would have been a reasonable outcome, but it hasn't happened. Now yellow's shooting at red, I think. Great shot. That gives him both balls in potential hoop running position. Nope, missing on the right again. He had no immediate danger. And blue will presumably come just south of black to give it a chance of yes, he could hit red, of course, try the hoop. But is unlikely to disturb red's position very much. So the two options here, where he's indicating, which is just to the east of hoop 9 to give black a chance to get in front next time, or to hit red and have a go himself from 6 yards. But he's chosen to go for the more conservative option, and that means that Jamie really has little choice except to go for the hoop. I don't think I'd really be keen to give Jamie too many shots at a 6-yard hoop. He gets too many of them. Nope. Got a bit of a right-hand tweak at the moment. Not bad. Not bad at all. Both balls into position. And a pretty straightforward GC style hoop for Pete. And gets it well. So 5-4. But now, of course, interestingly, yellow has a decent chance of making something of a contact with black. Not that side. But of course, one option he has is to... he could just roquet black at black again, but no, Jamie prefers to go for the all-out approach. Once more, misses just on the right. So blue lags up to black. It's just missing left. Is it? No, it's not at all. Shot. Well, you'd have to say that's two chances to make it 6-4 to Pete Trimmer. Neither a dolly position, but just considering his options. Always a possible tactic in golf croquet and in this version to give the opponent the chance to make a mistake. And if he goes somewhere where black can just cruise into blue, and make an easy hoop, it's attractive because red is the only ball Jamie has that'll play before black. So he'll have to hit something. He'll have to hit black, in fact. Pete equally is tempted by the immediate gratification of a good shot at the hoop with blue. Jawsing, it's becoming quite a habit, and now this basically red has to hit black and come off to the side and go north of blue. Well, he's hit it, but not the right way. And black may not have the easiest of positions, but nonetheless he can just come south of blue and see if yellow can manage to get rid of blue, but that'll leave yellow way out of position. So the other possibility is for red to try and come up into a transportation position for yellow, but of course black will then have views about that. Right. That is sent sufficiently far south that if yellow can hit it, it can reasonably hope to have some sort of... I don't understand that at all.
Hey, come back. Wrong ball.
Yes. Great call from the crowd of wrong ball as Pete takes what looks like a very easy hoop. But it was too easy.
Is that -2 points?
Yeah, I don't know why red didn't play to the north boundary and give yellow a chance to, assuming that black couldn't do anything useful. And he's put black under a bit of pressure to try and move. Black could have hit yellow and then hit red. That would have worked. Just showing that jawsing does have its place in this game as well. I don't think it needs to be too complicated. 2 yards to the east of, to the west, sorry, of 4 back and little south would be quite adequate. Okay, you can always try and make it even less likely that finally he goes for the very obvious option. This is going for the very fine cut to get rid of blue. Close, but not close enough. 6-4. That didn't look as though much happened there, so we're into what could be quite a long dogfight for 11. So Jamie just putting yellow where it should be after the previous miss, and Pete just does a gentle Croquet on blue for setting up. This presumably is going to give blue some sort of useful in-off. Well, that's not a bad shot. That gives red a clear shot at the hoop. Good effort. Very close indeed. Now what can blue do? If blue can get in front and run the hoop, that's it. Peter's will be the first 2-shot GC champion. Well, he's clearly played for that, and he's played what looks like a pretty respectable shot. Well, that's definitely a great piece of touch. This for a 7-4 win. No. So near and yet so far. But I don't know whether red can see yellow at all. So lots of ideas being tossed around by the crowd, including the jump shot, which is pretty sporting, with a big risk of actually peeling blue. He could hit Black can get a sideways look at blue. That might be an option. Certainly, it looks as though blue is far enough back that black peeling blue is relatively unlikely. So he could just play conservatively, which is not normally his style, and just play out to the northwest of yellow, hoping that black misses. But no, he's going for the... It's a fairly short Croquet, of course, so he should get this without too much trouble. Which he does, and that, of course, almost eliminates the risk of black peeling blue. And now maybe he will take the cautious option and just lag north of yellow. So tossing up between, that's what I'm sure he's doing. He was thinking about clearing blue, but a miss would not help him very much at all. Oh, interesting. To say, I don't know why he didn't take the risk of going out to the north of yellow. Obviously, a shorter shot for, well, it's a fairly short shot for black at red, I suppose. So going hard, and well, good shot. That greatly increases the difficulty of yellow hitting red. Not impossible by any means. It's only about a 11-yarder. Now, the one thing that black will not want to do is to leave any sort of rest for yellow. So you can expect to see this ball beyond 11, I would think 3 or 4 yards to the northeast. So the chances of yellow being able to rest on it and do anything immediately useful, beyond, of course, clearing blue. So maybe he's going to try and clear red. Because if yellow's wired from blue, then he can make life very difficult indeed. Just look. Nope, missing red. So Jamie has the chance of coming off red and then clearing blue. And he gets it. Nice smooth shot.
Hope your leg gets well quickly.
Oh! Yep, got it. So dug himself out of that one, and by hitting red fairly gently, keeps it within decent range of 11. Going for it. Well, bold stuff, but it's now not impossible that Jamie could hit this just on the right side of centre and end up in position. Now, did he flick that? He's walking after it. He did. Thinking about the transportation option. So leaves yellow a short ricochet option to try and get close to blue and clear it again, but I think black now just comes into... Yes, just staying a fraction short. Ooh, what's that doing? Okay. Well, he nearly rushed red onto blue, which would have been entertaining. But now once more he's got to scatter blue and avoid leaving black an easy option. Done it. So red. Oh, great shot. Mind you, that's a bit too hard, and so blue at the hoop is definitely no certainty. But with black on the western side of 11, red can't make anything of that, so this is a fairly free shot. Got it. 7-4 to Pete Trimmer, the first two-shot golf croquet champion.
Thanks so much for watching. Give us a like if you want. Leave a comment, subscribe. Check out the rest of the Croquet Innovations Tournament Series. And here's your reward for staying with us till the end.